The afternoon sun slanted across the high desert when Elias Rowan returned to the property he once feared as a child. His late grandfather's aircraft hangar stood at the far edge of the land, immense, rusted, and half swallowed by sand, like a relic that had waited far too long for an audience. Elias had come with a simple mission: restore the hangar, clear the debris, and sell the property before nostalgia convinced him to stay. Yet the moment he pushed the heavy sliding doors aside, a gust of cold, impossibly cold air brushed past him, ruffling his jacket. Climate malfunction? He murmured to himself, noting the archaic cooling units fixed high along the metal beams. But the units were dead, their power lines severed decades ago. The cold had another source. As he stepped in, dust motes rose, swirling in pale shafts of sunlight like suspended memories. Old tools, shattered crates, wings of disassembled aircraft. Everything lay where time had dropped it. But something else glimmered faintly near the back wall, a frosted patch on the concrete floor. Elias approached cautiously. The temperature dropped with each step until it felt as if winter itself had pooled in the far corner. There, beneath a half-collapsed tarp, sat 8 translucent orbs arranged in a deliberate semicircle. Each one was the size of a large backpack, embedded in layers of frost. He knelt, heartbeat prickling with disbelief. Eggs? He whispered. No, calling them eggs felt childish, naive. But what else could they be? He brushed a gloved hand across one. The surface was glass-smooth and shockingly cold, as though holding the memory of a glacier. A crackled network of filaments, iridescent and organic, branched within the orb like frozen lightning. As he peeled back more of the tarp, a set of metallic plates clattered against the floor. He froze. Granddad's handwriting was etched on a small analog tag. Project Bu Arm Core. Stasis Chamber. Prototype. Alpha. Elias inhaled sharply. Worm Core. He had heard the word whispered once in a conversation Granddad quickly hushed. Something about a classified aerothermic organism program, decades before Elias was born. His pulse quickened. So you weren't just building machines, he murmured. You were growing them. Before he could process further, a brittle plink echoed. Then another. He looked down. One of the 8 orbs trembled, hairline fractures branching across its surface in slow, luminous veins. No, 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 don't do that, Elias said instinctively, backing away. But the orb didn't listen. A deep, resonant hum flooded the hangar, vibrating through steel columns, rattling tools, pulsing in Elias's bones. The cracks widened. The orb burst. Not violently, but in a controlled unfolding, like shattering glass in reverse. The pieces lifted, suspended by invisible force, dissolving into glittering frost. And from the heart of the collapsing shell emerged a creature smaller than a cat. Wings tucked tight against a slender body, scales glimmering like liquid sapphire. Its eyes opened. They were intelligent and ancient. Elias stumbled back until his shoulders pressed against a workbench. Oh, oh hell, he whispered. You're real. The hatchling blinked slowly, then released a soft churring sound, something between static electricity and the purr of a turbine. Warm vapor spiraled from its nostrils, condensing in the cold air. The temperature around the remaining eggs seemed to shift, as though responding to the newborn's awakening. Their surfaces brightened with a faint internal glow. Don't wake the rest, Elias pleaded to no one in particular. The little creature tilted its head. Then it leapt, landing lightly on his boot. Elias froze. The hatchling sniffed at his laces, then crawled up his pant leg with alarming agility before settling on his knee, coiling its tail around him like a ribbon of living metal. Granddad, he breathed. What did you create? A faint beeping echoed from a nearby console, one he hadn't noticed until now. Lights flickered across an old control panel embedded into the wall. The system rebooted itself with a slow hum of awakening hardware. Words bloomed across the dust-coated screen. Stasis failure. Detected subject alpha. Revival. Complete genetic imprint protocol. Initiated nearest host identified. Elias Rowan. The creature chirped once, pleased. Elias felt a chill unrelated to the icy air. Host? No, 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 no. Whatever that means, undo it. Cancel. But the console ignored his command as a soft warmth spread through his knee, where the creature perched. It wasn't painful, just merging, as if something invisible was threading between them. Images flashed in Elias's mind. Towering figures of scaled brilliance soaring over stormy oceans, beams of fiery plasma streaking across twilight skies, immense wings unfurling against galaxies curved like silver crescents. A memory that wasn't his. He staggered. You're showing me your world. The hatchling nuzzled his hand, pupils narrowing to slits as if asking, will you be mine? Will you understand me? But before Elias could answer, the ground shuddered. A distant mechanical rumble approached. The hangar lights flickered. A harsh artificial voice boomed across the property. Unregistered biosignal detected. W Armcore assets compromised. Containment unit en route. Stand clear. Elias's stomach dropped. Government cleanup, he muttered. You weren't forgotten. You were being watched. He grabbed a tarp and quickly wrapped the remaining 7 eggs. But they were too heavy, too cold, impossible to move alone. Another rumble, closer this time. The hatchling hissed, tiny wings flaring with crackling blue light. No fighting, Elias whispered urgently. We're leaving, now. He scooped the hatchling into his jacket. It clung to his shirt, trembling but alert. The hangar doors began to open by remote override, metal grating against metal. Elias bolted toward the side exit just as a sleek, armored containment vehicle rolled into view, lights sweeping through the dust. A dozen faceless operatives stepped out, rifles gleaming with frost suppression tech. Freeze, a voice commanded. Bioasset carrier, stop immediately. The hatchling hissed sharply. Elias didn't look back. He sprinted across the sandy terrain, breath ragged, the wind slicing against his face. The creature pressed against his chest, warm now, burning almost. An energy pulse streaked past him, striking the ground with a concussive blast of ice. He stumbled but kept moving. The desert horizon shimmered with heat, distortion waves rising like ghosts. Just as another pulse fired toward him, the creature squealed, high, desperate, and a burst of shimmering light flared around them. The ice blast dissolved against an invisible shield. Elias skidded behind a dune, panting. The hatchling stared up at him, eyes glowing with ancient fire. You protected me, Elias whispered. Distant voices shouted in frustration. He tightened his grip around the creature. Okay, if you're with me, then I'm with you. The hatchling chirped, soft, trusting, final. Behind them, the hangar stood silent, guarding 7 eggs that would soon draw every hunter in the world. Ahead of them, vast dunes stretched toward an unknown future. Elias exhaled shakily. Let's find somewhere safe, he said, before the rest of your family wakes. And together, man and myth reborn, they disappeared into the desert.